I felt his fingers move on the keyboard again. The screen refreshed, and another name appeared on the list, along with a brief blurb. Dead Hand? I asked. I don't see anything that looks like a computer name. He's an old-school necromancer, said Dead Hand. He runs his own network of dead computers. He uses them to keep track of all the people who are going to die, so he can send them on to their afterlife. His name comes up once a year, if that. It's usually a warning, but every now and then he gets excited and sends out a notice that one of his favorite people is going to die soon. So he can have some fun with them, I guess. He always ends up getting caught, though. Doesn't sound like fun, I said. Sounds more like work. No doubt. That's why he doesn't get invited to any of the parties. But you do, I suppose. Dead Hand shook his head. No, he doesn't get invited. I'm here on his behalf. And what does he get out of it? Dead Hand gave me a small smile. He gets to kill me. But I'm not ready to die just yet, so we'll just have to see if he's able to pull it off. I thought about this for a moment, as the screen refreshed again, and another name popped up. I don't recognize this one, I said. Aunt Emma. She's not my aunt, actually, said Dead Hand. She's a friend. She's a friend of mine, at least, if you want to be exact. Of course, but I meant that I don't know her. I don't remember seeing her at any parties. You wouldn't have. She's not a vampire. She's an elf. They live a long time, so they don't really go to parties. An elf? That's right. One of the elves from the far future. I was surprised when she showed up last year. You know, most elves only show up once in a blue moon. But she showed up for a while, and then she stopped. I thought about this. What about her name? What does it mean? Dead Hand didn't answer me immediately. Instead, he pointed at the screen and waited until the name scrolled across the monitor. When it reached the end, he took his hand away and smiled at me. Aunt Emma, he asked. Yes. Her name is Emma. He said the word slowly so that I could repeat it back to him. I did, and he gave me a nod. Emma is a funny name for an elf. It's nice that she's come back into my life. Is she your lover? Dead Hand shook his head. Not really. I wouldn't say so. We've been friends for years. Sometimes we play cards together. He turned to look at me. You play poker? Sure, I said. Who doesn't? Poker is a game for suckers, said Dead Hand. It's designed to keep you distracted while someone cheats you out of your money. He tapped the keyboard again, and the list changed slightly. She's not going to die for a while yet. Not until I finish my current project. I frowned, trying to understand what he'd said. Your current project? My book, said Dead Hand. I'm writing a book. What kind of book? An autobiography. A story about my life, and the things I've seen, and the things I've done. That's kind of a big story to tell, I said. That's why I've only got part of it written so far. I thought about this for a moment, and then nodded. I see. You want to write your book before you die, right? That's right. I thought about this for a while, and then nodded. I get it now, I think. I'm not really sure I understand all of it, but I think I understand some of it. You're writing your book, so you'll have something to do after you die, right? That's right, said Dead Hand. But that's not the main reason I'm doing it. I shook my head. The main reason is to write the best book you possibly can, right? That's right, said Dead Hand. But there's another reason as well. Another reason? I'm bored, said Dead Hand. He leaned back in his chair and smiled at me. It's been a long time since I've been alive. I'm not sure what it will be like when I finally die, but I have no doubt that it will be boring. I didn't say anything. Dead Hand shrugged. That's the way it is. I was made for living, but my time is almost up. Soon enough, I'll be nothing but dust and memories. And then it'll be over. That sounds kind of depressing, I said. Dead Hand looked at me and shook his head slowly from side to side. It isn't really. It's just the way things are. It's what happens when you get old. I thought about this for a while, and then nodded slowly. That makes sense. I guess. But even if it doesn't happen, you still have something to live for, right? The book. Dead Hand smiled at me again, and this time the smile seemed genuine. You're not stupid, are you? I don't think so, I said. I'm a little slow, maybe. No one is slow, said Dead Hand, and there was an edge of anger in his voice. No one is stupid either. But you still believe in that book of yours, even though you don't know what it means, don't you? I thought about this for a moment, and then nodded again. It's all I've got to hang on to. Then let me ask you this, said Dead Hand. What makes you think that the book is any good? Well, Because I believe in it. Dead Hand nodded slowly. That's right, he said. And what if I were to tell you that you're wrong? What if I told you that the book doesn't mean anything? I thought about this for a moment, and then frowned. I don't know what you mean. Dead Hand leaned forward in his chair again and tapped the screen with his fingers. Look at this name here, he said. Layla. He turned the computer so that I could read the name on the screen, and then tapped on the keyboard again. Does she know you're here? No. She's a new person, and she's never heard of you either. He turned the screen away from me so I couldn't read the name anymore, and then sat back in his chair again. Does she have anything to look forward to in her life? No, of course not. Why not? I asked. She's already dead. I looked back and forth between the name on the screen and Dead Hand's face. She's dead. She's dead as dead can be, said Dead Hand. She's not breathing and she's not alive in any way that matters. But if she's dead, then how can she die? Dead Hand smiled at me again, but this time he didn't look very happy about it. She has nothing left to live for, and so she has nothing to live for anymore. I thought about this for a while, and then nodded slowly. I get it. She has nothing left to live for, so she won't be able to die. That makes sense. Dead Hand nodded too. Now you get it, he said. No, I said. It doesn't make sense. Sure it does, said Dead Hand. It makes perfect sense. He turned to face the computer again and started tapping the keys again. The list changed again. This time he didn't bother to explain who the person was. Do you think this is a person who's going to die soon? I thought about this for a while and then nodded my head slowly. Maybe so, I said, but I'm not sure. I'll give you a hint, said Dead Hand. The answer is yes. I looked at the screen and then back at him. Who is it? Dead Hand took his hand away from the keyboard and pointed at the screen again. It's you.